Alright, so you may have clicked on this video to find out what are the best PvP vehicles in the game. Now, just before the video does start, this is actually based on my opinions on what the best vehicles are for PvP. Starting off at number 10, we do have the insurgent pickup. Now, I'm not saying that this insurgent is actually bad. I actually do find it very reliable. Now, with the upgrades, it can actually withstand multiple explosions before it is taken down. The defense wise, it is actually very effective as well, which can be used in public lobbies. Now, the only reason why I'm not a fan of this thing is because you do need to have at least 2 players, one of which needs to be the driver and the other needs to be a gunner. Now, another thing I do like about the insurgent pickup is that you can actually customize it, or there is a lot of variety in customizations. Now, I'm not too sure if there is a bug in the game still, but there was a little bit ago. We can actually merge Benny's rims onto the insurgent pickup. Now, another thing is, if you're wondering how much it does cost you just under $1.8 million. However, it is free for some other players like myself. Now, if you were to actually customize this, you can actually go to LS Customs with this. However, you are limited to the upgrades, like the turret, for example. Now, if you do want to upgrade this to the maximum potential, you do need either an Avenger or an MOC, I believe. Next up on the list, what we do have now is the Sparrow. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I access or get this helicopter? Now, the way to actually get this is that you do need to actually own a cassette cap first, and then pay another $1.8 million on top of that to actually own this. Now, I actually do like this helicopter a lot, mainly because of how quick it is and the unlimited missiles it has. However, the only downside to this is that it does get shot down very easily, but like I said, with the speed, it actually does make up for it. Now, another small feature that is actually very reliable in the long run is that when you actually do request for this, it does spawn right next to you. Whereas if you were to actually call in any other helicopter either through Pegasus or your interaction menu, the vehicles will spawn a very far distance away from you. On the number 8 list, we do have the APC Tank. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I including this, considering it does require 2 people. Now, the reason why I do like this thing is that it is actually very heavily armored, except the only downside to this thing is that the windows are not actually bulletproof. Now, if you were to actually use the tank like I am in the gameplay, you actually do need a passenger, but the actual cool feature about this is that if you are in the driver's seat and you do hold right on the D-pad, you can actually switch seats. Now, if you were to actually have the SAM battery, you are actually able to shoot multiple rockets at the same time, and I believe in the driver's seat as well. However, with the missiles, it does actually contain a lot more firepower as well as good range, but it is actually limited with the missile rockets, which is a total max of around 60 rockets. Now guys, if you were to actually buy the APC tank, you will actually be set back just under $3.1 million. Next up on the list, what we do have now is the Savage. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys were actually expecting this to be on the list, but I actually enjoyed this thing quite a fair bit, mainly because of the explosive rounds that it does come with on the cannon. However, the missiles actually don't have a cooldown at all compared to some other helicopters, for example, like the Buzzard. However, the maneuverability is actually very nice and smooth, and surprisingly, the top speed does match with the Buzzard as well. Now, another thing to mention is that it actually does fit a total of 4 players in the helicopter. So you have the driver, the gunner, as well as 2 passengers. Not only that, but it can actually survive a max of 1 homing missile before being taken down. And not only that, but it actually does have a decent price of just under $2.6 million as well. However, there are some limitations for this helicopter as well, one of which is that there are no countermeasures at all, even if you don't have any passengers. Another thing is that there is a lack of upgrades, so if you wanted to upgrade out, the armor or the speed, or if you want to change up the livery, unfortunately you cannot. Anyways, that's probably going to be a wrap up for the Savage. Now, number 6 on the list, we do have the Night Shark. Now, I did actually want to rank this higher, but compared to the other vehicles, I unfortunately had to put it here. Now, this vehicle actually does have some very nice features, one of which actually does have the machine gun that is built into it. Now, if you guys don't actually have the armor plate surrounding the windows, unfortunately you cannot actually use any of your weapons. However, if it is removed, you are actually exposing yourself to getting killed, but like I said, you are actually able to equip some other weapons. Now, the handling and the speed for this vehicle is actually very nice as well. So if someone was chasing you, you would actually be able to evade them quite easily, actually. Now, as well, the Night Shark actually does have a variety of customizations as well. Not only that, but you can actually customize it in your Avenger or your MIC as well as LS Customs. Now, something very odd is that the Night Shark can actually withstand 5 RPG shots as well as 15 homing rockets before actually being destroyed. I'm going to bet a lot of you guys were actually very surprised I actually did rank the Oppressor Mark II as number 5 on the list. Now, before the update, I would have actually probably given this rank of maybe 2 or 3, but because of the update, originally the flares would actually shoot every 3 seconds and the chaff every 10 seconds. However, after the update, the flares have actually been altered so they can actually fire them every 10 seconds as well as the chaff every 20 seconds. Not only this, but the maneuverability is actually very poor, which was always, an issue. But as well as the, prior to the update, the missile accuracy has been reduced quite heavily as well. However, if you guys do know how to use the Mark II very effectively, like I am the gameplay, how I'm able to, maneuver very well upside down, you can actually use this in combat quite effectively as well. But not only this, but the speed for it does make up for, the cons of the Oppressor Mark II. Now, on the number 4 spot, we do have the laser. Now, I would have put this at a higher rating, however, there are some flaws with this vehicle. Now, one of which is the price tag. Now, if you guys do want to buy this thing, it will set you back $6.5 million, which is very expensive, obviously. Now, which doesn't really make sense, considering you can steal this from the military base for free, obviously. But the reason why I do like this thing is because of the handling on this thing. It can handle very smoothly. Now, I do like, that the fact it does have explosive rounds for the cannon, as well as the missiles. Now, there are 2 settings as well. However, they are just homing missiles on and off. Now, unfortunately, there are very limited customizations that you can have with the laser. Unfortunately, you cannot upgrade the speed or the armor and whatnot. However, the only thing you can really upgrade is the color of the laser. But aside from that, like I said previously, the handling is very nice, and this laser is, quite a common aircraft vehicle to come across, especially in like dogfights or combat. Now, this is something I would definitely use quite often as well. Next up on the list, we do have the B-11 Strike Force. Now, I'm not too sure how many of you guys would have, expected me to put this on the list, especially at such a high rating. But the reason why I do like to use this thing is that it is actually very durable compared to the, pretty much all of the other planes, where this one can actually take around 5 homing missiles, where the 6th one would take it down. But not only that, but the cannons actually do have explosive rounds as well, which is very similar to the Savage, except it is not as strong. Not only this, but there are actually 2 settings for the missiles, one of which is the homing off setting, as well as the barrage. Now, the barrage, if you can play your cards right, can be very effective in combat. Now, the turning and the handling and the speed and whatnot actually do handle very nicely as well. Not only this, but if you do want to purchase this vehicle, it will set you back just under $3.8 million. So what I would do in this case is that I actually would wait for a discount, as Rockstar, do tend to put in discounts every week. Now, for number 2 on the list, we do have the Hydra. Now, this jet is very effective in combat, whether it's up against other players or NPCs. Now, the reason why I do like this thing is that it actually does have some features that are pretty much exclusive to this jet, one of which is the VTOL mode. Now, what that is that it does take off, going upwards or downwards, whereas, some other vehicles don't have that. Not only this, but you can actually switch over to the jet mode like I am right now. Now, there actually is a glitch in which you can actually make it the fastest air vehicle in the game, which I might, cover a video on later on as well. Now, another effective thing as well is that you can actually do some very nice tricks with it, if you were to take out someone. Or, if you are new to, flying in the game, you can use this as a very reliable source, as, you can use the VTOL mode to start off with, and then, later on switch over to the jet mode. Now, the downsides to the Hydra, unfortunately, is that it can be very weak when it comes to, players or NPCs shooting at the Hydra. But not only this, but there is a lack of customizations, but if you're not into that, that is okay as well. Now, if you did want to buy the Hydra, it will set you back $3 million, which is more than half of the original price tag for the laser as well. But anyways, that's enough rambling for the Hydra. Now, anyways, let's move over to the number 1 spot. Now, I bet this was an absolute shocker. Now, the reason why I do love the Oppressor Mark 1 is because it is probably my best vehicle for combat. Now, the reason why I do love the Oppressor Mark 1 is because of its handling and maneuverability. Now, it actually does take a lot of skill to actually, master this vehicle. Now, unfortunately, I actually have not mastered this vehicle yet, as I'm still working on that as well. Not only this, we do actually have access to roughly around 20 rockets. Now, if you do play your cards right, this can be very effective in combat. Now, other YouTubers like Joker for Life does use this, who was my inspiration for the vehicle. Now, another small feature that I do love about the Oppressor Mark II is that if you were to start up an MC and request for the vehicle, there actually is no cooldown, whereas the Mark II there is, I believe, a 5-minute cooldown as well. Now guys, if you were to purchase the Oppressor Mark 1, it will actually set you back just over $3.5 million. However, if you guys do have the trade price, it will set you back $2.6 million instead. But anyways, that will be a wrap up for the top 10 best PvP vehicles in my opinion. If you guys didn't enjoy it, or if you guys didn't agree with me, feel free to comment in the comment section below, changing up, whatever vehicles you like or don't like. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more, as we're currently on the road to 4,000 subscribers. See all you guys later. Peace.